Why do we seek enlightenment, yet resist its truths? Most people don't arrive at this question from peace. They arrive from the wreckage of something that was supposed to work. The grind that stopped making sense. The loss that didn't heal the way it was supposed to. The realization that the self they'd constructed couldn't hold any more weight. This video will sit inside that tension, not resolve it. In the 16th century, the Catholic Church suppressed the works of Meister Eckhart, a German mystic whose teachings on the divine within the self threatened the Church's authority. Eckhart's ideas were seen as heretical, and his writings were banned. This suppression reveals the structural relationship between power and spiritual knowledge. Today, while Eckhart's teachings are celebrated, the tension between institutional power and individual enlightenment remains. The Church's actions highlight how spiritual insights can be weaponized or suppressed to maintain control. This historical fracture underscores the ongoing struggle between those who seek to control spiritual knowledge and those who seek to liberate Access to enlightenment often depends on material safety, cultural context, and social position. Historically, those with the luxury of time and resources have pursued spiritual paths, while marginalized communities have been excluded. The privilege of enlightenment is not universal. For instance, in many indigenous cultures, spiritual practices are tied to survival and community well-being, not individual pursuit. The modern spiritual market often caters to those who can afford retreats and workshops, further entrenching privilege. This disparity highlights the need for a more inclusive approach to spiritual practices, one that acknowledges the systemic barriers to enlightenment. Consider the psychological mechanism of cognitive dissonance, where individuals may rationalize their privilege by downplaying the importance of material resources in spiritual growth. This can lead to a narrow understanding of enlightenment that overlooks the lived experiences of those who face daily struggles. For example, a person from a low-income background might find solace in the teachings of the Dalai Lama, yet lack the means to attend a retreat or access guided meditations. This example underscores the importance of recognizing and addressing the structural inequalities that hinder broader access to spiritual fulfillment. In Zen Buddhism, the concept of satori refers to a sudden awakening or enlightenment. The Zen master Dogen emphasized the importance of zazen, or seated meditation, as a means to achieve this state. Dogen's teachings suggest that enlightenment is not a static state, but a continuous process of self-discovery. Today, while the practice of zazen remains central, modern interpretations often emphasize the integration of mindfulness into daily life. This shift reflects a broader understanding that enlightenment is not just a moment of realization, but a way of being. The tension between traditional practices and contemporary applications highlights the evolving nature of spiritual knowledge. Current cognitive science and neuroscience offer insights into the brain processes underlying enlightenment. Research by Richard Davidson at the University of Wisconsin-Madison has shown that long-term meditation can alter brain structure and function, enhancing emotional regulation and cognitive flexibility. However, these findings also complicate the notion of enlightenment as a singular transformative event. The brain's plasticity suggests that enlightenment is a gradual process, not a sudden epiphany. This scientific perspective challenges traditional views that emphasize a single moment of awakening, underscoring the complexity of spiritual experiences. For instance, the Zen tradition speaks of mo, a state of emptiness or nothingness that can be seen as a metaphor for the continuous and fluid nature of enlightenment. This aligns with the idea that enlightenment is a process rather than a destination, reflecting the brain's capacity for ongoing change and adaptation. The human mind resists enlightenment because it challenges the very foundation of our identity. The paradox lies in the fact that enlightenment requires the dissolution of the ego, yet the ego is the lens through which we perceive the world. This tension is the exact reason the mind cannot hold both sides at once. The ego's resistance to enlightenment is rooted in its fear of losing control and identity. This paradox is not just about challenging us, but about the fundamental conflict between the self and the transcendent. The mind's resistance is a reflection of its attachment to the known, making enlightenment a journey of letting go. If the observer is also constructed, what is watching the watcher?